Let's start the day by looking at GBP USD. Okay, we have some news on GBP, Euro, CAD pairs, and also USD. So depending on the level of impact, some are medium impact and some are high impact. Okay, so we're going to start off with GBP USD. We have our sell zone up here and our buy zone down here. Current price is over here. So what can GBP USD do? So let me screenshot that. For GBP USD, if it decides when the news decides to come out, you can check that in forexfactory.com. So if the news come out, it might spike into our sell zone, and if H4 still respects it, potentially we can catch a sell down. But if it breaks above, then potentially it might want to test a higher zone. Okay, after breaking, the price can shoot up in one go to a higher zone or trace back into our key level for a better buy up. Vice versa, if and when the news is released and it just decides to drop down into our buy zone, potentially we can catch a buy back up if H4 still respects it. But if it breaks below, meaning it closes below the box, then potentially it might want to test a lower zone. Okay? Excuse me. So what you can do is monitor how the price moves during the Euro session and wait for the next H4 to make your decision. Even better yet, wait for the US session. Okay? But if you want to scalp from here or there, you can, depending on your style. So where do you monitor for your entries? Since we are on H4, monitor M5 or M15 for your entries. Okay, so wait for the H4 to close to lower your risk, then switch to M5 or M15 to find a setup to enter. Okay, so that's for GBP USD. Oops. Then we check USD CAD. Okay, so USD CAD is slowly climbing into our sell zone. So USD CAD, we have our sell zone up here and our buy zone down here. All right. I'm using this zone and not here because we have a crossing of the EMAs over here. So this will be a better buy up because we do have an engulfing sell over here, and then we have an engulfing buy that pushed the price all the way up into our sell zone up here. Okay, current price is testing the sell zone. So what can USD CAD do? Like I said, if it decides to still respect the sell zone, then potentially we can catch a sell down. But if it breaks above, then it might want to test a higher zone, vice versa. If it decides to drop all the way into our buy zone and respect it, then we can catch a bounce back up. But if it breaks below, then it might want to test a lower area. Okay, your SL, after you entered the market, whether it be in the key level or around the key level, say your entry is here, you count 40 pips from your entry to allow some space and time for the pairs to move because it is a currency pair. Okay, so that's for your SL. Now we move on to the last pair, which is Euro JPY. Sell zone, I'm picking these pairs because it's close to the zones. Okay, so potentially we can catch any entries when the market comes into play. So Euro JPY, we have a sell zone up here and our buy zone down here. It's slowly climbing up into the key level, so monitor that for this Euro session. Excuse me. So Euro JPY, again, like all the other pairs, it will move like this. If it decides to respect the H4 sell zone, then potentially we can catch a sell down. But if it breaks above, then it might want to test a higher zone, vice versa. If it drops into our buy zone and respects it, then potentially we can catch a bounce back up. But if it breaks below the box, then it might want to test a lower area on H4. Okay, now that we know where to find our entries, where to place your SLs, now where to place your TPs. If you're not comfortable in holding for big movements and big pips, stick to 20, 30, 40 pips. But if you are more comfortable and you have been trading for quite some time and you understand that the price moves from zone to zone, you can set some of your TPs at 20. That will be the marking area. After your TP1 will be hit, you can set break even for the rest of your entries. So either you can do 20, 40, 60, or even set your TP right above or right below the next zone, or even by the key level of the next zone. Okay, so that's how you do it. But if you're not comfortable in doing that yet, slowly build up your patience and your confidence in your setup. Okay, so that's for the 3 pairs. I'll get back to replying to your messages. I have quite a few to get through, but I'll talk to you soon. Bye.